broadcast in all of Academy. It's the Guardians Ground, your home for the Golden Guardians. On behalf of myself and the whole Golden State Warriors organization and the Golden Guardians family, thank you so much for watching. We're glad you can be with us. All right, week 2, it's in the books, it's done, it's finished, and some history made for our Golden Guardians team. Why don't we take a look at some of the highlights of our LCS roster? First up, after a 1-1 weekend and a big upset over Team Liquid, our Golden Guardians LCS team took on Cloud9. Hashtag not my Cloud9, hashtag not their win either, because look at Definitely hop right on to Keith. Keith forgot which way his team was going, and definitely picking up that quick kill. It was a back and forth affair. The funneling composition took a while to get online, but eventually definitely found his footing, and everyone else on the roster, the Yasuo getting played by Mickey. We've been wanting to see Mickey pop off. He does get to pop off here. It led to the base race. Someone give that super minion a raise. Everyone gives each other hugs except Contracts. He's not a hugger. He's a killer. And that's exactly what we did against Cloud9, taking the victory here. 15 kills to 6. Drakes, not so important. 3 Infernal Drakes, still getting the win. That's some history there. Big reason why that's such a big win. It's our first time ever going over a winning percentage. 66%, pretty good. Taking on next, Echo Fox, a perennial top team yet again. Huni in the top lane, always a menace. Not in this game because it's the year of Lorlo, but one thing that we did forget to take advantage of was the day of Altec. The day before on Vladimir, he looked pretty listless. In this game though, he popped off as we watch these long fights that play well for Vladimir if he's able to get into space and not take too much damage, heal up. But Mickey with the great Zhonya's there led to a huge fight. We chase, we get a couple kills. Unfortunately though, Altec ended up getting massive later on. The team comp for Echo Fox continued to scale. Phoenix playing that supportive Galio in the mid lane and Altec being the focal point. If you had to pick one guy to carry, you wouldn't imagine it would be Altec. Instead, he shows up huge, gets multiple kills, and leads the team to victory. Again, the Drakes, it's the Drakes. When we win without the Drakes, we don't need them. When we lose without the Drakes, maybe we should have focused on them a little more. 4 Drakes heading on over to Echo Fox in that loss. But overall, again, I want to reiterate and go back to the point. First time ever this organization has had a winning record. 2-1, yes, you know, big deal, but it is a big deal after a very difficult season last split. And again, a rough start when you expect to win against Optic Gaming. Finding any sort of success, massive for the guys, massive for the team, massive for the organization. And that Echo Fox game wasn't, you know, a sleeper there. It was back and forth affair. You saw the gold graph earlier, up and down and up and down and back and forth, and eventually Echo Fox took the victory. But we're showing as an organization we can hang with these top teams, and now it's about getting the consistency down with the guys and getting the best performance every single time. That's what the LCS guys will be looking for. Again, the funneling strat against Cloud9, it was scary. Let's not joke. It was pretty scary. The gold graph was in their way the whole time, but once that Kai'Sa got to 3 items, everyone doing their part, the Yasuo wall, an interesting part of a kit of a champion that allows, again, it's not a tank, but when you throw down that wall, so many people get blocked by it. It's up for a long time. It's on a relatively like neutral cooldown, so you can use it once in a team fight to be impactful. That's exactly what Mickey did. Allowed Definitely to get huge and win, and gave us that overall victory, the 2-1 mark, and giving us the confidence as an organization, as a team, as individuals that we belong. We belong here. This is not just another season of difficulty. This is a team that can compete, and we expect to compete. For more on the LCS roster and just an overall chat with one of my good buddies, Coach Tyler, we have Coach's Corner at the end of tonight's TLA broadcast, so make sure you stick around for that. This one, a little bit, I think, as the weeks go on, we get a little bit more, we're finding the groove. This one's a pretty good one. You don't want to miss it, so make sure you stick around after the broadcast for that. So, LCS, done and dusted. Let's take a look at the reason why we're here. Our Academy team, they also had games in week 2. Let's take a peek at some of those. They started off last week on the Thursday night broadcast against FlyQuest Academy. And overall, solid performance right there. You see Potluck hopping into the fight. I remember that play right there. Surprised everyone. Got a 5-man Xin Zhao ultimate. And right here, Benji gives no bucks. Get it? No Bucks, because it's owned by FlyQuest. FlyQuest are owned by Wesley Edens. He owns the Bucks. All right, whatever. Shifting forward over JJ, and it led to a huge lead. Baron control, one of the things that this team does well. Baron dancing, not so much. 2 left feet led to the team kind of falling apart here. They engaged, it was a little too far spread out, and that one big fight kind of dictated the rest of the game. They get a cleanup ace here, does FlyQuest, and they just kind of run down the base and end the game. You take a look at the score. Objective control, the name of the game for our academy team. They've done a solid job throughout the split, but they've had trouble transitioning their early leads into victories. So we'll be looking for that later on tonight. Against the Golden Guardian Academy boys taking on Cloud9 Academy. My Cloud9 Academy, Jensen, Sneaky, Smoothie, what are you doing here? Bob Chin doesn't care. He plays LeBlanc, gets a couple kills. Benji skirting around the outside, dealing damage. Sneaky, you gotta go ahead and play an AD carry. Not so good on Vladimir, not so fast, my friend. If the game stalls out, Vladimir becomes much more important in the game and the team composition, deals a lot more damage. That's exactly what happened. We had a couple of nice fights early, but Potluck played very aggressive on the Camille, wasn't able to find his groove, and it put us in a large deficit. He plays very aggressively. That's going to be one of our keys to watch here this evening. Can Potluck play a little bit safer, a little bit smarter, and work on his aggression, his controlled aggression? That's not the case. And even in that game there, we led in gold. We lost with a gold lead. Doesn't happen too often. Dragons 2-2. But the team overall, again, putting themselves in positions to win and then kind of struggling. Last split, we had a little bit more difficulty. We had more failure to launch. We wanted to find ways to get into fights. We wanted to show off our team fighting prowess. Unfortunately, when we left the lanes, we were in big deficits. Not exactly the case so far in this season. But let's take a look at today's highlight from the beginning of Super Week against TSM Academy. A little bit more reminiscent of that. Zig in the top lane, just disrespect, flashes away, but gets killed by Piecake Lord, and that was the name of the game. Piecake Lord got massive. This was the big engage here early on in the game. This was our chance to get back in, but keep your eyes on Piecake Lord. The Dark Flight up and down onto the back line. Benji, nowhere to go, nothing to do because he has no more front line, tries to get the Blade Caller in, unable to, and TSM Academy basically took that lead all the way to the house. Piecake Lord soloing out Zig, and then just backdooring the base as we tried to shove up into the mid lane. Not what we were looking for as a team, and unfortunately falling yet again to TSM Academy 1-4 on the weekend. So what are ways that we want to find our way back into it? We want to try and not have that happen and have a lane explode. When you have a counter pick into an Aatrox, you pick Kled, because that's one of the champions that Zig is known for. He's known for a Jace, known for a Renekton, known for Kled. Those champions sometimes skirt on the outside of the meta, definitely Kled, and when you fall behind 2 kills against Aatrox, which is in the meta, so much so that they had to rework him, and now he's like not so good in 8-13. That 8-12 Aatrox, super, super scary, and once he got fed, not a lot of answer to it. There was one engage earlier today where we did have an opportunity to jump onto the AD carry. It was Kaisa, Rallis' Kaisa, and then we almost had an opportunity to jump onto Mike Young, not able to get that kill. Eventually the game just stalled out to a point where their team composition outscaled and didn't quite work out for the guys. So that'll be one thing that we're looking for today for our Golden Guardians Academy team. Now, taking a look at moving forward, let's take a look at one player that has been performing well and a player that we want to see continue to perform well, but take a second to acknowledge how well he's been doing, and that's our guy in the bot lane. It's Benji, who's been leading the league in kills over the past several weeks. Let's take a look at that. Benji has been on top of the game overall. He brings his experience, he brings his prowess, and something that has surprised me as a player that has been going back and forth so far between like on the LCS roster and now like back on Academy is his aggression, right? It's not full-on aggression like you expect with a bunch of rookies. You're expecting a guy to play right in the middle, and that's exactly what he did. After week 1, he led all North American players, not Academy players, not LCS players, all players in kills. And then after week 2, it was a tough week 2, no lie, but we get to rewatch this. No Bucks, given no Bucks. clip here where he shifts over the Morgana wall. He still leads all Academy players with 19 kills. Apollo in the LCS has 14. Either way, some big performances out of him, even in the loss against FlyQuest Academy on Ezreal. He's in all the fights, and he's one of the focal points of when we win. And we need to continue to move towards that team fight type matchup for Benji, so that Benji can continue to show off prowess, and we can continue to move around the map and do some great stuff for him. So, great job by Benji to lead the team and lead the organization. Now, let's take a look at today's matchup. It's Team Liquid Academy. They are a top team, no doubt about it. 4-0 currently against FlyQuest. Quick update: 32 minutes into the game, gold lead tied up. FlyQuest Academy up ahead, but TLA Academy still fighting for it, as they should, because they are one of the top teams in the league. They've got a young guy in the top lane that everyone had seen of, everyone heard of. It's Viper. It used to be high on Viper. One trick for Riven. Turns out, guy's pretty good, and he's been one of the main reasons why they've been doing well. They did swap out their mid laner, as we picked up Mickey from their team for our LCS roster. They swap in new guy, Insanity, not Lin Sanity, who also plays for, I believe, 100 Thieves Academy, and he's done well so far. Insanity is a rookie, and hopefully we'll be able to pressure him a little bit into making some mistakes. Shoryu led the league in kills last split out of all Academy rosters, or out of all Academy players in the regular season. I believe he had 87 kills. So another player to watch out for. And then Joey, LCS experience, subbed in for the one game where I think Doublelift hurt his hand. He came in. Afromu played AD carry, and Joey played support for him. Joey's been around the scene for quite some time. I've known him. He's on my friends list on League just because I was like, hey, dude, you know, how are things going? Blah, blah, blah. Good kid. Little cocky, plays with an edge, but, you know, when you're 4-0, you have the ability to do so. All right. So a little bit of preface before we get into the game. But first, since our game's still running behind, we do have yet another video for you. Let's take a look at our emergence video. It's the video that we shot with our guys heading to the Bay Area on their hopes and dreams of this split. Let's take a look.
They'll definitely have their work cut out for them. Not too impressive
They
from
were
him.
all out of sorts. Sadness for Golden Guardians fans. I believe in dead last once again.
This, their chance of redemption.
Yeah.
Looking back, last split was disappointing. Because we have such a huge legacy to uphold, I don't want this to happen again.
After a tough last split, I went to Korea to improve my game. I played non-stop every day, and that really took a toll on me, both physically and mentally. I started picking up running and working out. It allowed me to focus more and to train harder, and so I made that a part of my everyday.
My 3 favorite things were anime, Boba, and League of Legends. League didn't really go too well last split, so I'm ready to return stronger.
LCS 선수로 미국에 왔는데 생각보다 미국 생활이 저한테 잘 맞는 것 같고 지금 영어랑 미국 문화 같은 거를 배우고 있는데 이제 팀원들이랑 슬슬 의사소통도 잘 되는 것 같아요. 이제 LCS에서 제 능력을 보여줄 일만 남았네요.
Games to me are more than games. I want to build a legacy in what I do. When it's my chance, I'm gonna seize the moment. At the end of the day, it's all about the competition. I'm excited for what we can accomplish as the Golden Guardians.
All right, there's a live look here at FlyQuest Academy against TLA Academy pushing in. Welcome back, Guardians fans. Thank you so much for joining us as we're taking a look live at possible upset in the Academy bracket. TLA Academy and FlyQuest going back and forth. There's an engage by Viper trying to stave off FlyQuest from pushing into the base. Zonia's GA not going to be enough, and down goes a lot of the damage for TLA Academy, and it looks like the upset from the defending champions FlyQuest Academy will be completed. TLA gets taken down and taken out. FlyQuest Academy with a slower start this split so far, 2-2 coming into today's games. Not what you expect out of the defending champs. You see Pekin and a couple of the guys, a little bit of BM, and overall, FlyQuest Academy deserving that victory. It was a back and forth affair. We had it on the other screen throughout the broadcast, and we were able to see how things were going. So, congrats to FlyQuest Academy. Maybe that helps our boys a little bit, facing a tilted Team Liquid Academy. It was a good back and forth affair, but we have a good opportunity here to see the end of the game and watch one of the upsets of the season. Let's go ahead and get a look at some of the rosters here, starting with our very own Golden Guardians Academy. In the top lane, Derek Zig Xiao. At jungle, Nicholas Potluck Pollock. In the mid lane, Boyan Bob Chinkin. They call him Collegiate Faker. At bot lane, it's Benjamin DeMonk. And at support, it's the old man, Jamie Sheep Gallagher, with Coach Tanner Zoo Deegan. Their opponents on the opposite side, it's Team Liquid Academy. In the top lane, it's Viper. At jungle, it's Hard. In the mid lane, Insanity. Shoryu at bot lane, and Joey at support with Coach Tim Kiro. Now, Tim spent some time over on Echo Fox for a little bit, worked his way over to TLA, and now is the head coach over there. Last split, they finished third, I believe. Really, really great match with Echo Fox. They ended up falling short. Viper is, again, one of the players I want to highlight here because he was a Ribbon 1 trick. He has been with the organization for quite some time. The other player I want to highlight is Joey. Joey, not only a former CLG sub, so he has like 1 or 2 games of LCS experience. He actually subbed in for former All-Pro Ole earlier this summer at MSI against Flash Wolves. Team Liquid wasn't finding exactly what they needed out of their support role. They tried to roll the dice against with the young guy in Joey for their import support, Ole. Didn't quite pan out, but I'm sure that's got to be a heck of an experience for Joey going overseas, playing in the tournament over at MSI, and falling a little short, but having a heck of a time there, playing with Doublelift, coming back with Shoryu, aggressive player, led the academy last split with 89 kills, but you know, a great experience for Joey overall. Hard, another one of those players that's been around for a while. It's tough to distinguish when he started pro because he's played academy, he's played amateur for a little while, but unfortunately hasn't stuck with a lot of teams. He did get an opportunity with Cloud9 as a substitute, and then Cloud9 Tempest, I believe, Charlie's Angels, who's played jungle there, and then with Echo Fox as well. Wasn't able to stick around, but he loves his Gragas, so we'll have to take a look at that in Champ Select. And Insanity, this is kind of the unknown. He's the rookie. Not a lot of pro experience, actually no pro experience, not a lot of amateur experience that could be documented. I'm sure he's a great player. He's probably played in tournaments and teams before, but he replaced, like we said, Mickey, now our LCS mid laner, and so far leads Academy in KDA. Multiple guys here are in the top 5, I believe. Hard and Joey are also the other 2 that are in the top 5, but Insanity, it's not been any other player. It's not been Pekin. It's not been Bob. It's not been Jensen. It's Insanity for Team Liquid Academy, who's been popping off and doing well for their team. So, with that, kind of have an idea on the rosters, have an idea on how things might shake out, who the players are, but picks and bans are always a fickle fiend, and we'll get to see how that works out. We do have a little bit more of a delay because that last game did run a little bit longer. It takes about, I'd say, like 10 minutes before the teams get back into Champion Select. So you're here with us for a little while. Twitch chat, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Hit us up on Twitch chat, Twitter, Discord, all of our socials, so that we can go ahead and interact with you. This show is for you by people that love the Guardians like you do. So make sure you do that, and I'd love to comment and have conversation with you on the team and the org. Now, looking into today's game, after today's loss, it was a little bit difficult, right? You pick a team composition where you don't outscale, and you are the proactive team, right? You pick the champions that have to get a lead and win the game, not let the other team lose the game for you. And that's the kind of team that we want to be. We're not the team that's like, hey, let's go ahead and outscale, and then now we can go team fight. You know, with the Kled in the top lane, as Sejuani, who is your initiator. Sejuani is useful later on, but as soon as she hits level 6 and you get Glacial Prison, you're looking to lock down a target, pop them, and accelerate the game in 5v4s, 4v3s, 3v2s, whatever it is. And unfortunately, we weren't able to find that. One of the big things that we are looking for, though, is for Potluck to continue to look for those opportunities while we have vision. And that's a difficult thing for a rookie. As a rookie, you're always trying to make the big play and make it early, play aggressive, get kills. Solo queue is your training ground. It's hard to shake some of those habits. We're looking to, not necessarily Bob's played in competitive settings before. He's obviously won collegiate 2 times with University of British Columbia, so he's understanding of a controlled environment. Potluck still is learning that area, and that's what we'll be looking to see what that growth leads us to as the split continues. And obviously tonight against a quote-unquote veteran jungler like Hard. Hard has, he plays Gragas, he plays Rek'Sai. He's not, again, the aggressive feed me hard carry. He's the one that gets you vision. He's the one that ganks for you and supports those lanes to take big advantages for the future. So hopefully he'll be able to do that later on. So with that, the teams are still loading in. Let's take a peek real quick at it. Yeah, guys still loading in. At 1 and 4, you need to find a way to weave each other together, right? I don't think there's been too much finger pointing quite yet for the team, but I think a couple of other losses, you know, that might be a difficult place to come back from, because you do want to find wins against teams that are the same record as you. 1 and 3 TSM. Yes, it's TSM. Yes, it's the moniker. Yeah, they have the chant, all that stuff, all the, you know, I guess the chant. We'll just leave it there. You got to find wins against it. You're not playing against the logo. Playing against the guys on the Rift. And when you are 1 and 3, got to dig deep, got to execute that game plan. Unfortunately, weren't able to so far. So hopefully they'll be able to bounce back. Another player I want to see step up is Sheep. Now, Sheep is known for his shot calling on the team. The team doesn't hesitate to say, hey, he's our shot caller, he's our leader, he's the one that organizes us into getting things going and running everything together. So hopefully he'll be able to continue to do that. In week 2, he struggled a bit with his play, his macro play. Like I believe he was on Soraka. Obviously not the most micro-intensive champion, but again, getting vision in the top side of the map without vision elsewhere, gets caught out and goes down. That's something that we're trying to avoid here, right? Work together to get vision. Work together before we can make aggressive plays, before we gank, before we invade. I know this sounds simple, but it's really not. It's not when you're in the heat of the moment. You know that you're stronger than the other team. You like your team composition. Draft goes your way, and you want to find ways to get that lead. So you push it, and unfortunately, that hasn't been the case for us so far. Sheep needs to be the one that reins in the guys that are loose cannons, the ones that are pulling the trigger too early. But he needs to do that and not die. A little bit difficult as the season progresses. And again, 1 and 4, we've been there. We were there last split as an academy team and as an LCS team. We actually weren't even 1 and 4. We were 0 and 5 at that point. So they need to continue to stick together, and they have so far. I think with the vets, they know that, hey, this is a long season. We're still learning. We're going to be able to turn things around. So I think that they'll be able to do that under Sheep's guidance. Tanner has had a pretty good grip on the team. We've had in-house scrims this week with the team, and the academy team was getting some results. They're finding ways to be creative in their draft. They're finding ways to macro and play, and hopefully they'll be able to do even more tonight as they get into the game. Now let's take a look into the draft. On the blue side, it's Team Liquid Academy. On the gold side, it's our Maple Guardians, our all-Canadian Golden Guardians Academy team. Bands coming in fast and furious. Rakan, Lucian, and Jace. Again, that Jace. No one likes Ziggs Jace. Gets taken away. On the opposite side, though, we take away Nocturne, Talia, and Riven. So Riven, again, gotta have that respect ban against Viper. Viper, the Riven one trick. It leaves open Aurelia. Aurelia champion that is fantastic in multiple lanes. So I think good pick there by Team Liquid Academy. What does that leave up for our Guardians? I think that is the big question. It does leave up Zoe, and I would love to see Bob Chin off of Lulu duty. Come on, Tanner, do it. Yeah! We're gonna unleash the collegiate faker all over them. Yeah! Hopefully, that's the idea. So Zoe locked in there for Bob Chin in the mid lane. Potluck will be picking next. Not exactly where we can go here. Sejuani, a top contested pick. We did get that last pick and ban. No, we're gonna go with the Dr. Mundo. We've seen it again and again. If Mundo gets to the late game and doesn't get camped, he is just a menace with the amount of regeneration that he's able to generate. He gets a lot of value as a frontline squishy, a frontline chubby one. Zig on the Dr. Mundo duty. We saw him play it earlier, did fall behind, I believe earlier last week, did fall behind, wasn't able to get the items that Mundo needs to get to be the unkillable purple doctor, so hopefully he'll be able to do that today. Now, Morgana. I like this Morgana pick here by Team Liquid Academy. Question is, where does it go? Naturally, it goes in the support role. We've seen it in mid lane, used against Fakers LeBlanc back in 2015 MSI. I believe it's 2015. EDG pulled that one out. And then, of course, most recently, we've seen it in the LCK at AD carry, at bot lane. World Champ Bang has played that. But with Kaisa locked in, not exactly sure. Still can go multiple places, but probably going to just be a standard bot lane. Joey on the Morgana, Kaisa getting locked in there for sure. You, the bloodiest bot laner in all of Academy. Now, taking a look here, we lock in Thresh. Did we lock in Thresh? Are we in the ban phase? Yeah, I think we locked in Thresh. So Thresh being played by Sheep. Sheep made his name, like most North American supports, on the Thresh, and will be playing that one, looking for hooks. Kaisa, difficult kind of hook with the Killer Instinct ultimate. Obviously, Aurelia can dash around because that's what she does, so maybe a little bit more of a skill difficulty, the skill level set to hard for Sheep, but you know, when Sheep throws those hooks, it looks like time slows down. I hear like the string orchestra turn on. It's a thing of beauty when he lands those death sentences. We'll get to see if he's able to do that against the TL Academy team. Ban's coming in now. Aatrox. I like the Aatrox ban. We kind of got busted by Pie Cake Lord, and if you're losing a Pie Cake Lord on Aatrox, maybe it's the Aatrox. So let's get rid of the Aatrox there. Jax taken away. Brand and Vladimir taken away as well. Smart bans here by Team Liquid Academy. They did some research. Brand has been a champion that is played a lot by Benji. Benji has done admirably on Brand. I think he did it in game 2 of week 1. He got a double kill against 100 Thieves. They did a 3-man dive, and he just turned on the jets, turned everything on to hot, and burned everything in sight. Got a double kill and staved that off. And again, that's what led to him having the most kills in all of the LCS. Ooh, Benji going with the Kaisa. I'm going to be really excited to get a second opinion here on how the Kaisa plays out, because this is a pick that you just don't traditionally see anymore because of the cost of crits and how much longer it takes for a champion that uses crit cost to scale. Maybe you're able to do the attack speed build with Ginsu's Rage Blade with Kaisa. Not exactly sure. This is going to be an exciting inside look at a cutting edge pick here. And rounding it out for Team Liquid Academy, Trundle. Again, we played a Trundle earlier today. Mike Young played Trundle. Now this time is going to be hard. And the last pick, Yasuo in the mid lane for Insanity. Yasuo, again, just a safe pick in this meta. Able to dash around, deal damage, and create his own plays. The wind wall, again, we talked about it earlier. Teams picking tanks that aren't exactly tanks, but have skills or abilities that stall for time. The wind wall does exactly that, and you can dash around. You're kind of annoying. A lot of difficult targets for Sheep to lock into with the death sentence. Potluck, with our final pick, will lock in the Kindred. So Kindred for our Golden Guardians roster. It's Mundo, Kindred, Zoe, Callista, and Thresh. On the opposite side, take a quick peek. It's Aurelia, Trundle, Yasuo, Kaisa, and Morgana. Going to be an interesting matchup here as we take a look at our rosters one more time. I really, really want to see Zig step up. He's the kind of player that puts a lot of pressure on himself. He's the kind of player that when things go sour, he doesn't get upset. He doesn't get upset at anyone. He goes inward. And, you know, you always want to cheer for a guy like that who's had ups and downs like his career has been. So hopefully he'll be able to find his way back. Potluck as well is another player that we want to see grow, right? We want to find the speed and the aggression that he had earlier, but then make sure that he doesn't feed really hard. So hopefully we'll be able to do that tonight in tonight's matchup against TL Academy. We got a short break. Quick little clip here for you before we get into the game. Don't touch that browser. We have Team Liquid Academy against our Golden Guardians Academy when we come right back. Oh, what is this? How did this happen? What are you doing here?
I'm here.
Everyone, welcome Coach Tyler, my twin, on the broadcast. He's able to pull away from the LCS for a little bit and give us his insight and his knowledge into the game and hopefully cast us into a win right? You'll cast us into a win.
I mean, like, I'm just here to have fun, you know.
All right, yeah, sure. Have fun.
Talk
too.
about the game.
Well,
hype up our boys.
That's what we're here to do. What jumped out at you at draft then? Let's go into that big bang.
Oh, I thought the respect bands were like really funny actually. So like the Jace band against Zig, and then the Riven band against Viper.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like fun to see the respect bands in Academy.
Right.
And then I love Bob on a champion other than Lulu. Like, he's been performing really well lately, and like I'm excited to see him on like a playmaking champion. Right.
So the Zoe there. What did you think about the Callista pick? Now, to me, we got like 5 AD carries, right? It's normally 5. It's Kai'Sa, Ezreal, Lucian, Varus, and then sometimes Xayah with Rakan. But now we have a Callista in this.
Yeah. So I think Thresh against Morgana. A lot of people are like, oh, like why are you picking Thresh here? I think Callista Thresh actually as a duo is really strong. So like I think. In general, just GGS is on comfort picks that they really want to play for like this weekend to like they lost the match this morning. They're like, let's just get back to comfort and let's do what we're comfortable with and what we're like feel confident in. And like for Sheep, that's Thresh, and then maybe for Benji, that's Callista. I know like back in Dig like a while ago, like they were playing some Callista like here and there, and he looked good on it. So I'm pretty excited to see how this turns out.
Oh, it feels.
I also
good.
like want to talk about the Kindred pick too, because I actually think Kindred's like insanely good in this comp, because TLA has like a dive comp. Like they have like Yasuo, Kai'Sa, Irelia. These are all champions that like really want to go in. Like Kai'Sa can arguably like play a peel back style, but in general, when paired with champions like Irelia, Kai'Sa's a really strong dive buddy AD carry. Like they both dive on the ADC and they kill them together. And I think that Callista could bring like a lot of value to this draft, and it's a nice pick into Trundle.
I don't know about you guys, but I felt like I just went from like gold to plat in just like 5 minutes of conversation of picks and bans, because when I'm in the game, I'm just like, give me my AD carry, whatever, let me play Ezreal. But the theory crafting
Ezreal?
here.
You're not an Ezreal main?
I am now, because they nerfed Caitlyn. There's no more Caitlyn.
You play Kai'Sa?
Yeah, I don't play Kai'Sa anymore, because I feel like whenever I go in, my dive buddy has no hands. So like... I usually like to just play Ezreal and play by myself. So
I feel like Kai'Sa like takes so long to get items in solo queue. It might be kind of boring.
That too. I mean, it's the same with Ezreal.
Like
it's the same with Ezreal. Ezreal is like, I farm until like 30 minutes, and then hopefully we have one big team fight where I can shoot people with my Muramana.
Oh, it's interesting. They actually put Irelia top here.
They did put Irelia top, not in the mid lane. Insanity will be in the mid lane with Yasuo, bot lane Shoryu, and Joey with the Kai'Sa and Morgana team composition. I mean, this seems pretty standard. Why is that awkward? What should
I really just like
Yasuo go top?
Like typically not a good. I mean, like arguably they shouldn't be picking Yasuo, but like I think Yasuo's like a decent pick into Zoe, which is why they did it. Irelia is also pretty good into Zoe, so it kind of confused me why they didn't just put the Irelia mid.
Right.
It must mean that like Viper just really wants to be on a carry and feels like comfortable or maybe like semi-confident in that he won't get too punished in this matchup. But it's definitely Mundo favored. So that's pretty interesting to me.
It's Mundo favored until when we have an all-in, Sheep gets caught out. One binding does it. Benji though gonna be able to get the kill. Yes, and he doesn't have to use flash. So 1 for 1 there. First blood heading on over to Team Liquid Academy, but Benji gets himself a kill as well.
Yeah, that's good for us. Callista getting that early kill, like they got a kill on Thresh, but we got a kill on their AD carry, so now we can farm. Although they have TP, so we're not gonna punish it too hard.
No, unfortunately not. So again, weird meta when you have weird picks in the bot lane. Sure, you able to TP back in, not miss any experience or gold. Now hard heading to the top lane. Zig's got to sniff this one out. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Nice dodge from the stun. Has a lot of minions there to help him out, but in trouble, forced to flash away. Will go down. Hard takes that one.
Yeah, that was close. I was hoping our boy would pull through in the 2v1, but yeah, not to be this time.
It took me a second while watching that. It looked like he was. I thought for a second there he was. We were on blue side, because I was like, hey, why is Mundo on this side? And it was probably like, why is this Aurelia feeding me a free kill here? Unfortunately, not to be.
Yeah, the good thing about this is like Zig doesn't lose too much from that. He still has like a nice CS lead, and he still has advantage in lane. Like that kill doesn't mean all that much. It would have been nice if he had like called Potluck up to maybe help cover him and crash that wave or something. Right.
So 2-1 early game. Got ourselves some kills. Again, a death, and it's not Potluck to start. This is a good start for me. Potluck has been an aggressive player. Talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on Potluck as a player.
Yeah, I think Nick is like or Pollock is a mechanical player who really likes to show off. Oh, they're setting up for a bot gank here.
They are setting up for a bot gank. 1, 2, 3, 4 people about to go dive hard on the bot side of the map. Joey walking into death. There's the death sentence. You, sir, will die. And there it is. Potluck picks it up. Good kill there. Nice play. It is still a 4v2. No, not going to happen.
Did they get the Kindred stack on that one? Is there a way to tell? I'm sure he must have marked him, right? Like that's such a good kill if they got a mark there.
The mark is on Kaiser right now. Does it change as soon as someone dies?
No, you have to choose before.
Okay.
You choose before you kill the person. So.
No. But I mean, like, if he killed Joey, he can switch.
He gets to choose a new mark, yeah.
Okay. So, not sure. Can't count. Can't see. I can't see how many stacks he has. No, it says 1. Maybe it's from earlier.
Either way, it's really good for us. Bob used his window really well there, and then that was just good coordination. We also get the scuttle.
So Vision now on the bottom side of the map. Looks like Hard's going to try to play hard ball here. Sheep's going to try to sniff this one out. Oh, Potluck is here. We're going to try to take this fight. She forced to flash away. Oh, no, he gets his AD carry in trouble. Oh, condolences there, good friend. It looked like the engage was on. Benji believed him, and Sheep used a death sentence with his lantern.
Yeah, it was a nice idea from GGS, but TLA just read it really well and had a good plan for it. It's too bad.
That's tough. That's pretty funny, but that's tough. That looked like solo queue to me. Unlucky play there. 3-2, and that's going to give bot lane control to TLA, and they're going to take advantage of that. Even though we have vision, nothing you can do. TLA will take the first dragon.
Yeah, I think to go back to talking about Potluck, he's a player who likes to act on his mechanical prowess. So if you can set him up for opportunities where he can really shine, like for example, giving him the counter jungle matchup like this, where he can try to abuse the advantages that he gets from this matchup. So like Trundle can't really ever contest Kindred when she's like invading on a camp or like contesting thing if the lanes don't have prio. And for example, mid and top both have prio in these lanes. So this is a pretty good draft to set up for Potluck to shine. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what else he can do with the windows. Like for example, that bot dive was used. It was a really good use of mid window.
Right.
And I want to see how he can abuse the next windows.
Oh, good play forward. Joey getting a little disrespectful. No disrespect here. The ignite goes down and she picks up that kill. Sure, you trying to turn around the damage. Not enough. So I guess an awkward play there by the support. 2 deaths for the Morgana. Joey looking a little out of practice on the Morgana here.
Yeah, I think this just goes to show like how strong the Kindred Thresh 2v2 actually is. Like even though they have Morgana into it, it's pretty surprising like how you can get caught out so easily, like if you don't black shield properly.
Weird play there. Just not black shielding the right thing at the right time. Flay does have a little bit of magic damage to it, I believe, so that does chunk the shield, and it just stepped up and got caught out. Benji able to pick that one up. So 3-3. Even mid-game, who scales better here in the team composition? I think that's a question because we have had a lot of games here where things stall out. Oh, the pillar does come down. Bob Chin does get ultimate. The last breath will be Bob Chin's last breath. Nice play there by Hard. An interesting interaction taken advantage of by Team Liquid Academy's jungle and mid laner.
Yeah, they just did a really good job of using the fact that Zoe didn't have flash. There's not much Bob can do there. He's just dead. Really hard to outplay unless he like. I guess he could have stopwatched, which would have been really good, but I don't. Maybe it wasn't up yet.
Yeah, it wasn't up. Yeah. Stopwatch at 8 minutes. That probably happened at like 7:50.
Yeah, it was close. That's too bad. Maybe he could have bought a little bit more time. I don't know, but that's just well played from TLA. There's not much he can do there. In terms of which team outscales, it's actually like relatively close. It's all depending on like how the fights play out because GGS kind of has a comp where they don't really want to take a straight 5v5. Like they want to get picks and poke with Zoe, and like they have. It's hard to say. Like I would say TLA probably outscales if I were to just like pick a team to like which one outscales. But GGS still has like opportunities to make plays, even if it gets to late game.
Bot lane vision being fought over here. Sheep with his roaming buddy Potluck getting the vision. This is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see the team get vision first before they try to make aggressive plays. Hard is in the area. I don't think the team knows yet. So have to be careful of this dive. But Potluck, again, looking for the flank arena. Both junglers just hanging around. TLA does know that they are there because both Sheep and Potluck cleared the ward together. And it looks like that aggression will call off and go back to just laning. Now, does this seem like it's going to be one of those games that it's played around? It's played around either Bob Chin's picks and Dragon, or how do fights start, like for us and for them?
Yeah, so I guess like essentially this game is both teams are trying to play around bot lane because that's both teams' win condition. Like the Irelia is kind of like a weird pick in a sense that like they kind of want to play towards top side, but from what it looks like so far, like if you pressure the lane early, it looks farmable for Irelia. So now they don't really have to go top, and like maybe they can set up a dive eventually if you're speaking from TLA. Whereas like GGS, like it's just like we want to play towards bot side. We're playing Kalista Thresh, and we have a Zoe mid who can get prio. Like obviously we want to try and play towards bot side. So I think both teams are just looking to use their mid advantage. Like for example, TLA really wants to mid 2v2, and then GGS just wants to unlock Bob and then play towards bot side. So like that's how fights will probably start out.
Ooh, there's the ultimate down. Viper able to engage Zik using his ultimate, walking out Stopwatch. That was nifty there. Stopwatch keeping Zik alive. It does look like a gank might be coming in. It will be coming in. Potluck trying to turn his luck onto Viper, and Viper gets snake bitten and goes down. Good kill there. Great stall by Zig baiting out the engage.
Yeah, that was really good from Zig. I think I was talking to him today actually, and he was a bit upset from his performance from the first game, so he'll feel really good about that play. Like that's a play that he got kicked before and got punished, and maybe he shouldn't have, but he's able to bring something.
All right, so taking a look at that play yet again. Viper thinking he has the kill. Zig has nowhere to go, no minions, stopwatches, and is able to heal up enough life with sadism, I believe. Masochism, I think, is the ultimate, and that allows Potluck to come in and clean up. So good play there by Zig to make that one happen as we go back to live. So sneaky play. While that was happening, though, bot lane pressure, too much to handle. TLA gets the first blood tower, first brick. As we tried to shove in the top lane, weren't able to get it. So short little lead there. Viper getting a little aggressive. Nice ultimate there by Potluck. The Lamb's Respite keeps everyone safe. Viper's very low. Viper's aggression gets turned around on him. Great play there by Potluck to keep them both alive.
Yeah, I don't know what Viper's thinking. Like, there's no way that works out.
Maybe the ultimate is possibly like not.
I think it just comes to he's not used to playing against Kindred. Like he just forgot about Kindred ulti, I would assume.
All right, so Viper. I think he was one of the KDA leaders for the team so far. His KDA got a little broken. Now Zig getting his hand caught in the cookie jar, staying a little bit too long. Joey trying to get the sidestep, does get the flash, almost gets killed there. So Zig able to walk out of that one, but probably shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah, I think this is like a pretty expected lane swap, so it's good on GGSA to start heading up, but I think Zig just has to respect it a little bit more and maybe doesn't have to flash.
So lost the flash, didn't lose his life. That gives Benji and Sheep an opportunity to try and take down this tower on the top side of the map. Very, very low. Joey and Shoryu forced it back off, but only 3 caster minions won't be hitting the tower. And Hard hovering around the area, both junglers on the top side of the map, waiting for something to happen. Unfortunately, Potluck gets warded right there in the river bush and won't be able to continue on his shove. Hard hasn't been spotted yet. We do have topside vision. But again, questionable plays coming here in the future. Sheep trying to step forward. Ooh, the Ren not going to be enough. Benji miscalculated, and that'll be to his doom. Death sentence will be landed, and Sheep gets the kill. But now Sheep under turret will go down as well. And it was just a sliver of health keeping Shoryu alive. He gets enough damage down. Now Potluck forced to walk away out of this one. Insanity trying to get the knock up. The last breath will not even be needed. Hard picking up that kill.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for GGS. Like, just not enough damage, and then the like last tick on Ignite hit like right when Sheep got out of the ult from Benji, and he took turret aggro. So it was just that was just so unlucky.
Yeah, let's take a look at that play again on the top side of the map. There it is again, just so close. Flash forward, and he did the auto E as well. But I think just one more auto would have been all it took. Unfortunately, not enough for him. And then we get to see Sheep get caught out. And then the rotation in the mid lane, Potluck getting collapsed upon very quick as well.
Yeah, it's just too bad. Like that was so close. And then like maybe they shouldn't even be making that play because like mid has prio from TLA. But I think like anything like if we get a little more damage on there, if it's like just a sliver more, like it's not too bad look from GGSA.
So 7-6, 14 minutes. The game has kind of found this like stalling point. Now, is there a concern that Kalista falls too far behind and then becomes irrelevant? Like, is there a point where any of our champions where they fall too far behind, they become irrelevant?
I think like Kais is obviously stronger than Calista right now.
Yeah.
Like she has 3 kills. She's already got Guinsu's. She only gets stronger from here. So it's just a matter of like us making plays while we're strong. Like even though we're down 3K, their champions take a little bit more time to scale, whereas our champions are still pretty good right now. So I think they just still need to keep looking for these types of plays that they're making, just maybe a bit more calculated, and we have a chance to come back for sure. And plus, we're Golden Guardians, so we always have a chance to win.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
I'm inspired. Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to play against TLA or FlyQuest and TSM this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, respectively, against those teams. As you get to hear some of the pep talk that we hear on the daily from Coach Tyler. I feel like I can run through walls when you give me a talk about anything.
You probably can.
See, look at that. You see that positivity here. He believes in me. With that belief, I feel like anything is possible. You're like my own, well-meaning glasses wearing, scripture. Anything is possible.
I'm a glass half full kind of guy, you know.
That is the kind of guy that you are. 15 minutes into the game, 7-6. Vision just getting taken down. Seems like the next objective will be Rift Herald. As we see Hard hovering over there. Oh, Death Sentence barely going to miss. Rift Herald not going to like that and ram his face into the wall to make himself feel better. Do you notice that? Rift Herald just is like, bam. Like, he doesn't punch it. Like, he punches minions, but he, like, headbutts things. It's not face butts things with his face to try and take down structures.
Shelly don't give a
buck
care.
Yeah, she doesn't give any Milwaukee Bucks. Wesley Eden's FlyQuest. There it is. Shout outs. A dragon getting taken now because the opposing team did see that we had a couple of resources allocated to the top side of the map. And again, we have vision. Why aren't we able to defend these dragons as well as we take top side?
We're just getting top tower. I think it's a really good trade from GGS. Like, giving up this dragon, like, we're going to have to give it up anyway. We can't fight it. So you might as well get something for it. And here they got top tower, which is really good.
The shove onto the mid lane is real. Potluck and Bob Chin, the duo, will be clearing that one out. Nifty play there by Bob Chin to auto-attack the minion, kill it so that his Q comes in and smacks Joey in the face. But it's not quite strong yet. He is able to go back and buy now. Zig now on mid lane tower duty, trying to defend that final tower for the last time. Aurelia, if we look at the mini-map now, splitting on the bottom side of the map, and that's going to lead to more pressure. Who's going to answer that? Who's supposed to answer that right now? Is that the Mundo that's supposed to go down on the bottom side?
Yeah, so they pulled Zig to come help defend mid tower because Bob really needed to buy. So they just pulled him for a wave so he can come help defend, and then now he'll head back bot to answer Aurelia.
Is this a TP-able play? Should we be looking to TP here if we find a good flank?
No, unfortunately we can't fight this either. Like, maybe we can find a pick, but I think in general, he has Calista ulti to save him. But like, we can't fight. We have to give it up, and they'll probably herald mid for the second tower. We have to give this one up too.
So just a lot of patience, understanding that, hey, look, these failed early game ganks has given TLA a large enough lead that we can't 5v5 them. We have to find picks. We've got to find a way back into the game that doesn't lead to like a line up and start hitting each other, because they're going to win that with their gold lead and their items. Taking a look at that Trundle, as you see, Hard. Why is Trundle all of a sudden, like, not back in the meta, but why is he just a overall good blindable pick here when we try to counter with Kindred? But why is he overall good blindable pick?
I think Trundle's good here because we have like a one tank comp, and so Trundle helps neutralize Mundo's effectiveness. Like, it makes it so TLA can actually kill Mundo.
Ooh.
So, like, late as the game can go, like, Mundo will still have to deal with Trundle ulti. So
the subjugate.
So Trundle's good.
Death Sentence missing there by Sheep. And again, we just play the wave clear game. So is this what we have to do? We have to just invade safely with numbers, try to find a pick, and then translate that somewhere else?
So for GGS, the name of the game right now is don't take any 5v5s. Make sure we play around our windows of like potentially getting a number advantage fight, and wait for Baron fights. Because right now we don't win any straight 5v5, but TLA can always mess up somehow, like trying to secure a Baron, or like maybe they tank it for too long and we get a favorable 5v5 fight. But I think for now, like, we're not in necessarily the worst spot. Like, it's definitely hard, but the game's still winnable as long as we play calculated and slowly and make sure we only take number advantage fights or do some shenanigans around Baron.
Oh, bubble not going to land. Hook not going to land. Again, it's just been a farm fest. At what point, though, do we need to pull the trigger? Because the same thing kind of happened today against TSM Academy, where our guys felt comfortable farming, knew that they couldn't, like, we didn't have like a full answer for the Aatrox. In this case, it's an Aatrox, and had to find a okay fight to start. Got a couple kills, but it wasn't enough, and then eventually TSM Academy outscaled. At what point do they feel like is TLA going to outscale?
Yeah, I think this is, we get outscaled probably, I would say, especially when Kaisa gets 3 items, the game's going to be really hard. So anytime before then, if we can get a number advantage fight, or if they can mess up around Baron, like, that would be good for us.
So Kaisa obviously going the AP build as we see Insanity try to go 1v1 against Sheep. There's no ultimate because it had to be used earlier. Benji tried to flash away out of that one, wasn't able to, and easy cleanup there by Insanity. Not exactly sure what happened on that one.
Oh, that's probably Baron too. It's really unlucky.
Yeah, the 2v2, the 1v2 turned into a 2v2 with 4 more people, or 4 total people going to the top side of the map. It's all up to Potluck here for something. Probably just going to watch this Baron get taken away. Yeah, not much
You got
to do.
this, Nick.
Nope, no vision. Flashes over. Oh, 400 health. Potluck not able to get it. Paddlestar not going to hit anyone. Lamb's Respite keeps everybody alive, and Potluck goes down. And again, just asking, how long is that timer going to go? Where do they pull the trigger? Unfortunately, they get engaged on by the Yasuo with no vision. And turns out, when there's no vision, TLA is right there.
Yeah, not looking too good at this point.
And Rift Herald popped as well.
TLA will throw. They'll throw for sure. We got this.
So, our Guardians having a hard time guarding the base right now with Baron empowered minions at an early 21 minutes for TLA. And TLA showing why they're one of the top teams in the league so far. And again, where's Bob? I want to find opportunities where Bob can come and make plays, and unfortunately, he's been in like wave clear duty in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, he had opportunities early, like his roam down bot to get the kill on Morgana. But I think like at a certain point, Yasuo can contest the wave much easier, and you need to 2v2 mid, and like the 2v2 is pretty hard for them. So I think like at a certain point, it just needs to come down to like figuring out ways to unlock Bob so he can come help your other side lane. And we didn't quite get there this game because of a couple of mistakes. Or potentially TLA playing really well. I think they played pretty well this game.
Oh, wow. Here they go. They're shoving down the bottom lane. Shelly able to take out the tower. Baron empowered minions bearing down as well. Very difficult situation to be in so far. Kaisa also shoving down the mid lane with a... Kaisa... the Aurelia shoving down the mid lane, but it does look like we have an engage here. Benji trying to go forward with Sheep. Sheep not able to land on anyone. Last breath will be doing a little bit of damage. Down goes Benji. Now Potluck all alone on the backside because there goes the Thresh as well. Lamb's Respite does go down, and things looking very bad for our Golden Guardians boys. It might be an early game here for TLA. They shove onto the bottom side of the map. Baron shoving into the base, and it's just Bobby Q, the only one alive. 0-1 is his score. Tries to go in and get a bit of damage. Not going to be able to find that as well. And it does look like TLA taking probably the quickest game of the day in about 23 minutes. Very, very fast game for them. They're going to take the victory over our Guardian squad.
Yeah, that's too bad. I like the idea from Zoo and the guys coming into draft and playing a lot of their comfort picks and things that they feel like they can really perform on. Like they want to prove that like they're good on these champions, they're comfortable on it, and it just didn't work out. Now,
with both the Kled, I would say Kindred, and Callista, do we feel like we're trying to buck the trend too hard of the meta? I mean, most of the time, the reason why something is a meta is because it's known as one of the best things to use.
I think that like the only thing that would be like potentially like off meta in this draft is probably just the Callista. I think that like Kindred's actually pretty good into Trundle, so like it's a pretty meta pick from there, and then and she's also getting buffs on this next patch too. So
right. But then Kled earlier.
But I mean, we're not on that patch yet. But
yeah, not quite.
And then Kled is like it's like a Zig comfort pick. Like it has matchups that's workable.
Right.
And like I think they thought the Aatrox versus Kled matchup's workable. So.
Okay, tough stuff there for our academy team, and I think what are some of the bright spots? I mean, we got to see, again, some of the prowess of our bot lane early on in the game, but unfortunately, not a lot there. What is something that stuck out to you from this quick game, this win by TSM?
Yeah, I think by TLA.
TLA.
I think that TLA looked pretty good. Like they look like a 4-1 team coming into today, and unfortunately, our comfort picks didn't quite work out for us.
Right.
I think in general, like we have the right idea on a lot of things. It just comes down to smoothing out the mistakes. Like I think overall, like we got caught top early. Like we went for an overplay on bot after Nick hung around for a really long time when Toronto could have been there. And like plays like this, if you stack them up, like there's also like a solo kill bot. I think like eventually, if one of those plays stack up, it becomes hard to win a game, right? And I think just smoothing out that process and emphasizing more on the windows that they use properly, like the Zoe roam, I think was really good. I think they have a lot to build on coming into next week.
Right. Now, going back to the draft and picks and bans, you thought it was fun. You thought it was the respect bands for each top laners, like pocket pick there. Do you think there's a different way that we can go? They first pick the Aurelia, and then we go with the Zoe Mundo picks there. Like, is Mundo the best top laner that's probably left because we don't know where Aurelia is going, or what are your thoughts on that? I
think Mundo's very blindable. It's a pretty good top laner right now, and they wanted a tank for their composition, and he fits the bill really well. I think they counterpicked bot, right, instead of since they blinded Mundo, so like I think that's fine.
Okay,
Mundo's a good blind.
I think it just kind of comes back to Derek in the top lane knowing, hey, if I fall behind, that's how this doesn't work, and just getting caught out on the gank with the roam coming out of hard. And then, like you said, they were still 88 in CS, I think, like 10 minutes into the game, maybe like 9 minutes into the game. But at that point, Aurelia already built the Executioner's Blade, had the healing reduction on, and it made it difficult for Mundo to live. So hopefully he'll be able to come back from that one as we take a look at our full game graphics here. Didn't look one-sided for most of the game, and then one big fight went the way of Team Liquid Academy, and we were on the back foot all the way around, and as you said, had to give up fights because we would lose a 5v5, and we knew we'd lose a 5v5.
Yeah, I think like the issue with this comp is like once you get behind, it's really hard to like get back into the game. You just have to like hope they misplay, or you get a nice pick with Zoe, but unfortunately they have Morgana, so it makes playing Zoe a little bit harder. And so I think overall, like the comp's hard to play when it's behind, but I think we had the tools to execute a snowball, and it just didn't work out this time.
Yeah, unlucky for our boys to start. No Rift Heralds, no Barons, and I think this is the first time where we did not have Dragon Control on the Academy team. There's a couple times in our LCS team we didn't have Dragon Control and we won. A couple times where we had Dragon Control and lost. This is the first time for the Academy team not being objective focused, not being objective based, and they'll have to continue to work on that as they move forward. They do have one more opportunity tomorrow for a victory, as they will be playing in the Riot sponsored, I guess the Riot broadcast of the Academy Elite. Now, thank you so much for joining me. We have a short video break, and then when we come back, we will have Coach's Corner with, of course, Coach Tyler here to give insights on last week, and of course, look forward to this week. So don't go anywhere.
Good
you
job.
Don't want to miss it. Hey, great job. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to my desk.
It's a pleasure.
This is a new one, right? Because we were normally over there.
Yeah, it's nice being over here. I like the desk.
Yeah,
it feels good. I feel more protected.
Yeah,
you know, I'm so vulnerable on the stool. You know.
No.
They'll
you
definitely have their work cut out for them. Not too impressive.
They
from
were
them.
all out of sorts. Sadness for Golden Guardians fans. I believe in dead last once again.
This their chance of redemption. Yeah.
Looking back, last split was disappointing. Because we have such a huge legacy to uphold, I don't want this to happen again.
For me personally, going into the off-season, I felt very motivated and at the same time kind of depressed.
I was able to chill a lot, hang out a lot, and play a lot of solo queue.
I think this offseason I read a bit more on like leadership and just making sure
I could fit into that role and just take more time to develop myself.
I don't know exactly what anime I was watching during the off season. I watched the rest of Darling the Franxx. Probably watched Naruto. I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
일단 기본적으로 솔로 랭크를 좀 많이 했고 팀원들과 열심히 연습하면서 준비했던 것 같아요.
Yeah, just kind of just relaxing. I had like a month off. I streamed a little bit, just entertained the fans that I do have, and yeah, it was just fun.
I had fun and all, like hanging out with friends, but it just didn't feel right. I'm the type of person to really get anxious if I'm not working hard, if I'm not like focusing on my craft. I made a trip out to Korea and worked my ass off there.
Started playing like 15, 20 games a day.
Played like maybe 15 hours a day.
Since I had a lot more time to play solo queue, I started to work on my mechanics a little bit more and a little bit more of a vocal role. I guess even when I was just alone playing solo queue, I was always thinking about what I'm supposed to be saying, what I'm supposed to be thinking about.
One of my goals is just being a bigger voice. People know that I've wanted to work on my like my communication leadership from last split when I was talking about it, but now that High is gone, there's actually a really big gap in our team that someone needs to step up, and I want to be that someone to step up and take the role.
So we've been in the house for about, I think, 2 to 3 weeks, and overall it's been way better than last split so far. I think the scrim environment's just higher mood, just higher energy in general, and just we're getting better results in scrims.
Well, obviously we now have like a Korean player, so communication's definitely different, but I think everyone is picking up well.
이런 집에서 좀 평생 못 살아볼 것 같은데 살고 있어서 너무 행복합니다.
I think right now we're probably the most underrated in terms of laning.
The biggest quality that everyone doesn't see in us is skill. Our scrims have been going pretty well, so I'm definitely looking forward for this split, and I'm sure that our results will be better than last.
I just want my team to feel comfortable, and I think that's like one of the biggest concerns I have. I don't want anyone to feel like they're not a part of the team or they're just not able to voice their opinions, because I think all 5 of our players are super intelligent, and when they do have something to say, they should speak up. And I think if everyone's speaking up at the right time or just relaying the information that needs to be given, then I think we'll get the most up every day. Everyone's come in with like a fresh mind and just pretty much committed themselves to the team again. I really just feel that. If that stays the same, I think we'll see a lot of improvement from split to split.
And finish on the Nexus as they'll start the second day of the summer split with a victory over Team Liquid.
That was David versus Goliath. That was 10th place versus 1st place from the last split. That is a blue shell if I have ever seen one.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Coach's Corner with Coach Tyler. Thank you again, Tyler, for joining us for week 3 version of this broadcast. So week 2 in the books, 2-2, 2-1, the first winning record in the history of the Golden Guardians. That belongs to you and your boys. And then we faced a good Echo Fox team where it wasn't Huni that carried. It was probably the person that we didn't expect to carry the most, Alltech, who kind of popped off in Vladimir. Why don't you recap this last weekend for us?
Yeah, I guess I don't think you need to be thanking me for coming on. I should be thanking you.
Oh, yeah.
This is your corner, and I'm allowed to be here.
It's Coach's Corner. Otherwise, it'd be like Degon's like sphere, because I would control like the world. But your corner. Yeah, this is Coach's Corner in Degon's sphere.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I think Johnny or Alltech played super well. We were a little unaccustomed to playing against Vlad in that game state of like what our comp does.
Right.
So I think they took great advantage of that, and Echo Fox played really well. I think we had a strong gold lead with a good comp and a good draft, and it was exploited because Echo Fox played like really well. I think that should not be understated. Like they deserved that when they played super well.
Right, and we had seen what it looked like when a bot laner, a fantastic world-class bot laner, plays Vladimir in double lift in week 1 against TL, and that didn't look anything like Alltech's Vladimir, and like his Vladimir from the day before, that didn't look good either. How about that hashtag not my C9 game? That was a nail biter. I wasn't in town, I was at a wedding, and I'm just watching this on the wedding, and my sister's giving a speech, and I was like, oh my God, what a great speech! Oh, it's so close! What was that like in the room? In the back room, you have comms, but you could see like the back and forth.
That that was a very I felt the same feelings you were feeling at the wedding and the speech. I was just like, oh my god, like we have a sick draft, like we got exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
Like our comp should be playing out super well. Like their side lanes aren't even that good. Like our side lanes are pretty dang good.
Right.
So like they can't even get huge advantages from side lanes. And like now I'm just thinking like, all right, we just gotta like keep it stable. Kai'Sa will get our items, like we'll win, and then we just like get slow killed mid, and then they end up getting rift and break towers first, and it was like, oh no, like there goes our gold lead. They're getting a bigger gold lead. So I think like we made a lot of mistakes that game that allowed them to be in that game, in a game where I feel like we should have been able to close it pretty easily, pretty quickly, around like 24 minutes.
Yeah, another player that stood out for the opposite team there was Golden Glue. I was surprised with this Swain play. Swain, not the toughest champion to play, but he did have that solo kill in the mid lane on Deftly using the never move and just kind of caught him out and then popped him with a bunch of damage. So thoughts on the guys that replaced the superstars, the starters. I guess that would be Zazel at support, Keith at AD carry bot lane, and Golden Glue in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think the bot lane coming in from not my C9, I think that they relatively underperformed, I would say, like throughout the time they were on stage. I know that they can be really good players and they can probably perform better than they did on stage, but I think they underperformed pretty heavily, especially against us. And then the Golden Glue actually surprised me. Like I think he played really well. It would feel kind of bad for Golden Glue to not be given a chance to continue to play in LCS, seeing it like the level that he's been bringing to each game. Like I think he's played really well. Even the game that they played the next day when he was playing Yasuo, he looked really good in that game too.
What was Deftly's mental like before the game and after the game? Because I think when you're the centerpiece of a funnel composition, you have to be a certain type of player, a certain type of guy to be like, hey, put it all on me. And I think afterwards he felt a little differently. How did he feel in your eyes?
I think Matthew's the type of player who like always wants to prove himself, or definitely he always wants to prove himself. He always wants to be given the opportunity to like do what all these great AD carries do, to be like double lift, like to be like an all-star AD carry, and I think he can do it. He just needs to be like given those resources, and eventually he'll build up to the repertoire of like someone like double lift. And this game was a great example of like, all right, Matthew, like this game's on you. Like it's not on anyone else. You're the Kai'Sa. like Mickey's on Yasuo. He can maybe carry, but like this game's on you. And like I think he took all of that in, and he dealt with it relatively well. I think he was calm. He was focused on what the objective was. He like guided the team around like these are the fights we should be taking. Like this is when I'm strong. We should fight around here. We could have done a little bit better because we had like a 10k gold deficit or whatever in that game.
Yeah.
But I think overall he's growing into that role pretty well. After the game, I remember talking to him being like, oh, like my heart, like I was so stressed. I can't believe like all that weight was on my shoulders. Like I felt so stressful. And I was like, yeah, but it felt good, right? He's like, yeah, it felt really good. Like I could carry. Like I was so strong. Like it felt like I got us the win, even though it like took a long time and I didn't play that well.
Right. Closing note on that C9 game: 3 E United players in both Licorice and the bot lane duo of Zazel and Deftly. What a team that could have been if it snuck into the LCS in either opportunity that it had, with both good old God Gilius and was it Fox in the mid lane, I believe, is Gilius and Fox. That was the first split one. And then the second one was Dandy and GBM, I believe. So, you know, glad that we do have North American talent propping up. Let's look forward into, oh, nice shirt, by the way. These are good shirts. You like that? Yeah. All right.
At the store.
Hashtag GGS win. Yeah, we are matching. There it is. We're just in each other's brain. All right. So you already know that I'm going to ask you about FlyQuest and TSM. That's this week's matches, right? So why don't we talk about FlyQuest first?
Yeah, so we play FlyQuest on Saturday. They have side selection, so they get to choose which side they want. That's always a little bit stressful coming into the Saturday match because you have to prepare for both sides. You don't know which one you're going to get.
Right.
And then like it's always a gamble, and especially with FlyQuest coming in, they played like a variation of a couple different strategies last weekend. They played the Lucian funnel comp, which looked okay, and then they played like a Zyrocon standard game coming into, who did they play on Saturday? Their Saturday match. I don't remember who they played.
Right.
But I think in general, like FlyQuest is looking like they're coming into this weekend with some momentum. They got their first win, and it probably felt really good on Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't think that the win was convincing, but in the end of the day, they got it done. And like I think with a lot of teams, that first win is like, once you reach over that barrier, it's a lot easier for you to get things going and start to get some momentum coming into the week, especially getting it on Sunday. So I think FlyQuest, we should not be underestimated at all this Saturday. So we're putting in a lot of prep to make sure that we can come in strong and play our game and be focused for that match.
All right, so on Sunday, big matchup against TSM. Also 2-2, kind of treading in the middle of the pack, a little inconsistent, but you know, we talk about that word all the time. Lots of firepower on that team when you got probably NA's best player in Bjergsen in the mid lane and a bot lane as experienced as Ven and Miffy.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams coming into, especially after week 1, coming into the split, were like, dang, TSM are back. Like they're prepared, they look good. In scrims, they look good. So I think